So this is a hedge at Wrotham Heath, and try not to get my shadow on the hedge, but it's difficult because this is now May and this was done at the end of last year. And there's a nice section of the hedge there, quite a nice, just to show you the amount of stems there were in this, and it was easily, most of it over 20 feet, probably average about 18. Some of the stems we left, or I left, there's one coming up about 10 yards away, which is a little field maple, and I just spin the camera, that's about 18-19 feet, too far back really to use. Another nice section here. I'll just drop the camera down. Apologies for my shadow, but I can't help that. I just want to show you the front of the hedge, and all the brush, as you can see, is at the back. We did it this way to dispose of all the dead wood, which is stuffed mainly in the back of the hedge. There's a section here which actually had pretty much nothing in it. There's about 7-8 meters of it, and then we're back into some very tall hazel, some very tall field maples, which I'm sure all you hedge layers are aware of, is not the greatest stuff as far as hedge laying goes, because it lacks flexibility when it's so big. Not so bad when they're young, when they're sort of 3 inches in diameter. Still a bit of height there. There's a huge one here, or a huge main stem of it. It's difficult to see in the sunlight, but that's about 6 inches across, the cut. Very difficult to get down. I used a hook stick to hook them down, and then you've got a bit more control. You can see all the dog's mercury coming up, which, as you probably all know, is very poisonous. 600 binders. These are birch binders, which were coppiced locally where I live, near Reigate, and they're pretty good when they're young. These are about 12-14 feet long. Some of the hedges covered in mud, because this is a track used by 4-wheel drive motorbikes. Loads of 4-wheel drive vehicles. I'll just spin round to give it a view back along the track, a bit bright into the sun. Nice section of hedge here, really thick stems. This hedge is on the Pilgrim's Way, and it's contracted to do this by a National Trust, which is nice, because they've got some volunteers, but I don't think they would have taken this one on. Here's a field maple that we left. I can just show you the height of that. Now that's about 18 to 20 feet, and there are a lot in there. And here's one here, which was a lot further forward, that I used. You can see the cut. and then it goes up through the stake line. Coming to the end, or the end of this walk, which is where I began the hedge. Big load of hazel here. If I just step back, give you an idea of the length of some of these, and all the tops have broken out, and eventually this one's breaking out on the stem. If I just show you, and it'll break out all the way down and then come up from the rootstock again, and all those will grow up through the hedge, make it nice and thick. These hedges are normally cut in an A shape. Now this is where I started, which seems an eternity ago now, and it also goes on up the path. I can show you what it's like. It's actually a bit more open up there, and there's about another 200 metres, so hopefully, if not this year, maybe in a couple of years time, I'll be back down here. Well, there's a shot along the track. The hedge to the right was laid 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and that was flowered in February, just before it snowed actually, and that's greening up well now, although all the ends are shattered, and in comparison to this it doesn't look so good. So I'm going to start walking back now, probably a bit quicker than I came down, but